Welcome to the Excitant Fiber podcast. In today's episode, Cody Landrum, co-founder of Excitant Fiber, will provide an overview of the company and answer frequently asked questions. What's your background and how did you get into Excitant Fiber?
Yeah, my background is actually I came from oil and gas and moved to the coast, and there had been Hurricane Ike, which was devastating to the Texas Gulf Coast, and we had no internet when we got there. We had no idea. You just assume internet is everywhere you go, and AT&T had disbanded the area, and I spent months and months trying to solve my problem and then realized I kept getting pointed back to solving other people's problems as a wider scale. And so it started out first as a wireless, doing microwave to the home. And then as we got larger and bigger, expanded into fiber optics, which is, the pinnacle of communication.
Is the slow internet issue a nationwide problem, or is it just in the Texas market?
I know it's nationwide. Everywhere that's outside of, call it, the city limits.
Mhm.
One of the big stories from 2 years ago, I believe, is AT&T was petitioning the government to shut down their copper network because they lose money. They lose tens of millions of dollars on it every year, and they're just willing to forego millions of customers because of the fact that they're losing money because that old infrastructure that is built out as what copper phone lines were is just aging and failing, and they'd rather lose the customers and start over years and years and years later than try to keep it online, and that's where we fit in.
Tell me about your last business in the industry and the involvement there.
Yeah, I started a company called Third Coast Internet originally in May of 2015, and we started in the Crystal Beach area, which is just across the way on the coast from Galveston, Texas, and immediately had a backlog of hundreds of customers because everybody down there was clamoring for internet, just like I was, as I spoke of before. And we were putting hundreds, I believe we calculated we were putting on 750 customers per year. I started that business with by cashing my 401k out. So I had about I don't know, 100, 185, 100, $190,000 and just cash flowed all of it. Was ignorant to the subject of banking and all of that because I had never done it. It was my first business I ever started. And 5 years later, we had just shy of 4,000 customers, over 4 million in revenue, and one, two, three, four fiber optic, I believe, four fiber optic neighborhoods. Again, moving into the future, trying to get off of microwave and into fiber optics where you solidify your customer base.
What's the vision for Excitant Fiber?
The vision is similarly to how I ended my business there in Crystal Beach, is to continue with fiber optic only.
Mhm.
Fiber's the pinnacle. There's nothing better. 5G is not better. The satellites aren't better. There's no there's no replacing fiber. A lot of people uh, they're under the impression that 5G is better. Well, 5G is fed by fiber. So why wouldn't we just take fiber directly to the customer's home, which is infinitely upgradable? There's nothing even on a research and development level that's better than fiber. They don't even have anything in the pipeline better than fiber because there's nothing faster than the speed of light. And when you deploy that way, you're delivering it as fast as physics will allow. So going into these small towns, outlying areas, outlying suburbs, all of these areas that have been forgotten, we'll call it, and bringing them the pinnacle, you solidify them as your service provider. You're changing their lives as far as them being able to telecommute to work, work in a big city that's 1,000 miles away, and increase their income. Just it revolutionizes the thing for these folks. It revolutionizes their lives, and we take it for granted every day being somewhere that does have infrastructure. We don't even think about it. You just have the internet. These people don't know what that's like, and it's 2024, and it's absolutely amazing that no one's done it. And the reason no one has done it is because if you remember when cell phones started,
Mhm.
you only had it in the cities, and when you left the cities, it went away. Then they followed the interstates because people drove. And it was years and years and years later when small towns got cellular, or rural areas got cellular. And then when they upgraded to 4G and 5G, they did it the same way, and they're doing it now. And so these people are still left in the dark.
How different is Excitant Fiber's internet speed for communities and businesses?
Sure. So when we deployed wireless, we offered a max speed of 36 megabits. Most people's cell phone goes faster than that. Our base rate that our fiber optic offering will provide will be 1,000 megabits, and we'll go all the way to 10,000. So I'm not quick with the math on that, but I believe that's 100 times faster or 1,000 times faster than what your normal cell phone is, which is what a lot of people still have. DSL speeds to this day. I looked for my apartment on Galveston Island. AT&T does not offer fiber here. We only have cable, and AT&T offers me 9 megabits of speed. Businesses are now able to have access to things they haven't. They can have, one of the newer things is text to chat, and so they can have voice over internet phones where they can have a conversation with you on your cell phone and market to you on your cell phone. They're able to set appointments on your cell phone via their phone that's interfaced with their computer, because they have the bandwidth to do these things. They have the technology now to do these things. They can have backups. They can have on-site backups. They can have cloud backups. If they can have video chats with other offices. If they're not able to now, they can stream TV. There's so many different things. Businesses can have EV chargers that have payment portals. There's mountains of data that people try to get from their customers. There's mountains of data that they get from their employees. The list is endless for a commercial side, for the commercial side of things, I should say.
What does the process of setting up fiber infrastructure and collaborating with the community and government look like in areas without fiber access?
Working with the government bodies, especially in Texas, is very simple. We don't really have any regulations to jump through, no hoops. The Texas government, years ago, the Texas government put broadband providers into the right-of-ways as default. So we don't have to ask questions. We just go get our permit from the county, no different than a pipeline company, no different than the electrical company, and say, we're going to go down this road or down this right-of-way or whatever. And they issue our permit, and we do all, but we play by the same rules as anyone else. And when we lay a design out, and when we go to work, the beauty of the drilling machines that we use is people know what those are for. And the orange conduit that goes in the ground, everybody knows what that's for. And it's its own advertising. People, every neighborhood we've ever been into, we almost had to put somebody out there as a PR representative, because they kept getting stopped all day long. Are we getting fiber? Are we getting fiber? So we have our vehicles wrapped with our name, and it says on the back or on the side, we're bringing fiber to your neighborhood. Call this number to get signed up. And it's just an onslaught of people, because they have nothing, or they have poor satellite service, or they are using a hotspot where they're limited on their cell coverage, and they can only use so many gigabytes per month. And our usual is over 60% of the people sign up. And the only reason the rest trickle in, the reason they don't sign up originally is they may have a contract they're with someone, and they just don't want to pay that out. But in a neighborhood where they have nothing, we are usually in the 90% range of market share.
These small communities seem like unpacked markets. Why aren't large providers or competitors entering this space?
Well, they actually are starting to now. AT&T and Xfinity, not so much, because again, if you go back to what I said earlier about the cellular data, they're going where there are millions of people, because why wouldn't they go upgrade and be the best there when that is where they get the most bang for their buck? They have investors to answer to on Wall Street, so they have their tried and true way of doing things, and that leaves the other millions of people to other providers. And there are other providers out there that are going in. There just aren't enough to fill the gap as quickly as the public would like. And that's where we come in into the prospective East Texas, Southeast Texas, Northeast Texas, and Central Texas,
What are the
is
plans to
to go
grow for
fill that gap.
Excitant Fiber?
The current plan is to deploy the initial deployment west of Tyler, Texas, and then have those crews, after they finish there, move southeast and start going down each major highway to every small town on the way, and then expand later into Southeast Texas, and then have them expand to the north and to the west, and continue growing and building those towns out until they meet in the middle, and then from there, Central Texas, or maybe Central Texas even sooner. It all depends, but there are literally hundreds of towns with thousands of people
Is
per
there
town
anything
that
else you want
need
people to
internet.
know about Excitant Fiber or your background?
Just that this is, this is. I like to give the analogy. This is like being around whenever electricity was being run for the first time. Everybody's going to get it at some point, and the people who put the electricity in did really well for themselves. Whenever they first put the lines in and started giving people lights in their home, and this level of communication is just that. It's almost limitless. And then from there are other products people can sell that you can sell to people after they're there. People want security cameras. People want some people want phones, business phones. There's the market share is open once the customers are able to utilize things that they don't even know they can. Then the door opens for every one of them for another product. So it's really
Thank you
an
for
exciting
listening
time
to
to be doing
today's
this.
Excitant Fiber podcast. We appreciate your interest and time. If you have any questions or would like to learn more, visit our website or reach out.